Hello everyone and welcome to another Explorer video. So, if you hate sideboarding, you've come to the right place. Now we're not exactly going to be playing best of one without the sideboard. We're still going to have sideboard, but we're going to be sideboarding the bare minimum. So let's take a closer look at the deck to see what the deck is about. So this is Mono Green Ramp. It is inspired by the Pioneer version of Nykthos ramp, but obviously we don't have Nykthos in Explorer currently. And they also have Infinite that you can do with Nykthos and including the sideboard with the Karn, but we don't have that. That's okay. The deck is completely functional even without that combo. And obviously this deck would be much better if we did have Nykthos in the deck, because what we got here is we do play 4 copies of Kiora, which basically functions as a card draw engine by playing a 4-power creature. So in our deck, we have Cavalier of Thorns, and we also have the Troll to go along with it. But if that's all it did, we wouldn't be playing Kiora in the first place, because it is technically a ramp deck. But what's really special about the Troll is that if it dies, you enchant the land that we have to give it additional mana. So we have cards such as Woeful Haven and the Troll to attach to a land. And in our case, you want to constantly stack on the single land, and that's where Kiora comes in, right? We tap the land for a lot of mana that has a bunch of enchantments attached to it, then we untap it using our Kiora so that we can generate additional mana yet again. So that's the idea behind playing Kiora in this deck. But aside from that, since we don't have Nykthos, our mana generation is going to be a little bit behind than the Pioneer version. That's why we're going to be playing 3 copies of Nissa instead. So with the Storm of the Festival, we got Nissa, Cavalier of Thorns, the Trolls, Kiora, and the Karn. And lastly, we have a copy of Sky Sovereign Consulship to hit off of Storm of the Festival. So we got a bunch of good hits there with Storm of the Festival. And obviously, casting a 6 mana spell only works because we got a bunch of ramp spells in the deck, and being able to untap a land for a lot of mana with Kiora makes this possible. And finally, once you assemble a lot of mana on the battlefield, then you can hit it off with Karn to fetch a bunch of cards from the sideboard. One notable combo that you can do in this deck is the Meteor Golem attaching the Helm of the Host. So you got the Meteor Golem here, which is a 7 mana card that destroys target non-land permanent on opponent controls. And then you got a Helm of the Host here, which at the beginning of a combat, create a token that's a copy of equipped creature, and that token also gains a haste. If you attach those to Meteor Golem, every single turn you're going to be able to destroy an additional card. And another interaction you should probably know in this deck is if your Meteor Golem does end up in the graveyard, so you can't do this combo anymore, what you can do is if you fetch an Unlicensed Hearse with the Karn, then you can exile Meteor Golem so that the Karn can grab the Meteor Golem again. Because what Karn says in its -2 is that you can actually grab an artifact from outside of the game, which is referring to the sideboard, or a card that is exiled. So in our case, we can grab the Meteor Golem yet again. That's another interaction you should probably know about, which brings me to another card that has a similar interaction to what we just talked about, which is called the Karn Silex. It's a new card from Dominaria United. I freaking love this card. When I played this deck in last set, there were some creature decks that posed some problems, such as Mono Green Stompy, for example, or even Angel decks. Not often do you see an Angel deck in Explorer, but it does happen. So what I had to do before is that I had to play some copies of Ugin so I can sideboard in against those creature decks, which wasn't really ideal. So this Karn Silex does the job of beating other creature decks that float out the board. So although it's a little bit slow, it does come in tapped, but the fact that Karn can grab it means that even in game 1, you do have ways to basically destroy entire floor with opponent's battlefield. But what's really nice about this card is that this exiles itself when you use its ability. So once you use its ability, it exiles itself, and again, Karn's -2 can grab something that's exiled, in which case we're going to be grabbing another Karn Silex. So if you have enough mana, you can pay 3 mana to destroy your opponent's board, and then you can grab the Karn Silex, the Karn, and then play the Karn Silex again onto the battlefield. What this does create is this awkwardness from opponents, like, do I play out a creature even though I see a Karn Silex? And at that point, I think you've already won the game. So aside from that, the deck really doesn't sideboard much. your entire sideboard that you can bring in potentially is 2 more copies of Voracious Hydra. And I would only bring this against a heavy creature decks. So instead of a copy of Nissa and a Paradise Druid, Voracious Hydra is something that you could bring. But aside from that, the deck really doesn't sideboard much, which is really nice. Against a Rakdos midrange, I do believe the deck is very, very heavily favored, which is, you know, about 50% of the meta. From my experience, all I do is play against Rakdos midrange. And this deck does just beat sacrifice decks because of Karn. Karn shutting down their oven since it's an artifact. Karn's passive ability says that your opponent can't activate the abilities of the artifact. So I would say the only really real struggle for this deck is the mono blue spirits. And we could potentially have some room for crawl harpooners. At the end of the day, it's not going to make the difference too much. And at the same time, mono blue spirits isn't exactly popular. So in my opinion, we just take the loss when we get paired up against a mono blue. But that's gonna be it for me. And if you guys enjoyed the video so far, leave a like, comment below, and subscribe if you still haven't. And I'll leave you guys with some games that I played and explore best of 3 to show you guys how the deck plays. And I'll see you guys all later. Bye bye. Oh my god, I can't even play. Maybe we should just take out Castle. You know, like, is Castle even that good? Like, I get why Bonder's Enclave could be kind of good, but Castle, man. Yeah, I'm gonna cut Castle after this game. Just a bad card. The only thing that can cast with the Castle is
I'll show you Drywalker something truly spectacular. The ocean surges, life thrives.
the only thing the Castle can cast is Cavalier of Thorn. And only if you're stuck on mana too. Well, that's not exactly true because it needs 5 mana to cast Castle. So I guess...
That sinking feeling again.
So they actually misplayed there. They should have attacked with the Blood Tithe Harvester. See if I blocked. 2, 4, 5. Okay.
One drop ripples and grows.
The thing is, this is not even that good.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Any lands? I would love a land here. Well, let's actually fix that.
Nature flows with vigor.
So we can do this. Or we can do this. This is probably better because we get to draw with the Kiora. Never mind. This one and that one. All right. This is a pretty good matchup, honestly. Probably Sky Sovereign we take out. Do we want Voracious Hydra? I feel like this matchup is just so good that you don't even sideboard. Like, do you sideboard at all? Probably not, right? Maybe like perhaps Golos instead of a Sky Sovereign? But all of their creatures are 3 HP, right? Blood Tide Harvester dies. They have... They have the Werewolf card, the Human. That exiles a card. That is also 3 toughness. This can also snipe some Planeswalkers as well. Yeah. No sideboarding. Sure, I'll keep it. I have been kind of getting stuck on lands a lot, so I think I'll keep this one. Looks like this is a Fatal Push. They have a Fatal Push in hand. That's pretty unfortunate that that got sniped when we were flooding. And they just top decked the Thoughtseize too, so that's pretty unfortunate. So by playing Kiora, we get to play Cavalier next turn, which is nice.
Octopuses, serpents. Oh, I love them all.
Like, I don't see Kiora dying here. Man, what a card. Like, 3 mana, 7 loyalty. Yeah, this was the card that I was talking about earlier. This also has 3 toughness.
Let's get moving.
Wow. Our hand is stacked now. So what I think this is it's a Chandra. I think it's a Chandra here. We'll block the Trespasser because it's constantly exiling cards.
From battle.
Extinction Event. Wow. So gross.
Right into battle.
Oh, don't mind if I do. This matchup is just... It's so easy. It's like... It's really just one of the easiest matchups ever. Okay, so... Castle Garenbrig... We're gonna cut it. It's not a good card. Because if you look at here, this adds 6 mana. So you have to spend 4 mana and you have to tap itself so to get 6 mana. Which isn't really worth it because the only creature that we play is Cavalier of Thorn. You could argue that maybe it'll make casting Voracious Hydra better, but I mean we have Kiora, right? We have Kiora, Nissa, so we're gonna get rid of it. Perfect. Okay, not perfect. Goodbye, Elvish Mystic. Could also be a Kiora. What? That's interesting. Okay, never mind. Goodbye, everything. Why is it trying to do that? Oh yeah, well, if I just want to cast everything, then yeah, sure. Looks like it's like a hand disruption. Let's discard everything kind of deck, so... Sacrifice Wolf Willow Haven, create a 2/2. Why did they Fatal Push a 1/1 instead of a 2/2? That's interesting. That is interesting.
Strange and magnificent world. Behold, nature's true power.
But this does work out. So we need a Karn, huh? We do need a Karn. Okay, that's pretty annoying. Okay, that's really annoying.
How rude.
So we did get a Karn, but... I mean... Let's see. Can we cast... What can we cast? 3, 4, 5.
I will defend my ally. True goodness can never be corrupted.
What can we get here? Can we cast Meteor Golem right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not really. Not really. Did we play a land? We didn't, right? Okay, that works out.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
I do not feel pain.
Okay.
Evil cannot withstand a righteous army.
Activate this.
Harness the elements.
We need to get rid of that Sheoldred. Okay, so they did not...
I will
They didn't
return.
attack.
My allies are counting on me.
So let's get rid of the Sheoldred.
The land fights for us.
We're at 9, so it's, I mean, it's not ideal. Why are they only attacking with the hive though? That's kind of weird.
Bet you've never been hugged by a kraken.
The land shall conquer you.
Alright, one more turn. Nissa gets the ult. And that should be game over. That should be game over. Okay. Because right now, like, Nissa gets the ult, all our creature lands become indestructible, so... Interesting. I feel like this is kind of like Rakdos Sacrifice matchup, right? Like, do we need to sideboard at all? Because this is where creatures... I don't really think they play that many creatures to begin with. I mean, there's Tenacious Underdog, Sheoldred, but... Okay, fine. I'll play one more Voracious Hydra. One less Paradise Druid. I mean, Paradise Druid... It does have hexproof. It's a pretty removal heavy deck. I don't know. Instead of a console flagship, probably Paradise Druid is a little bit better. It's a pretty slow hand, but against a discard heavy deck, I just don't want to mulligan at all. Wow, they mulligan down to 5. Put it on the forest. Ramp, ramp, ramp. Excellent blocker.
No more distractions.
Yeah, this is fine.
One of your friends
Because we
has
get to now
leave.
play Cavalier of Thorn. Bonder's Enclave. You know what? I'll take it.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Let's get rid of this. So what does word exactly say?
When I win, you're telling me what you... Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Nissa. I'm surprised they attack because now they lose Liliana for free, unless they have a Fatal Push in hand.
I will protect the virtue of this world.
I'm gonna animate the Hydra
Rise, my elemental friend.
because I care about more forest right now because of Nissa.
Fine, I'll take my zombies and leave.
GG's. Okay, I was actually wondering, ward. Whenever a permanent with ward becomes a target of a spell or an ability. Okay, so even if you Voracious Hydra, you do have to still discard. I see, I see. I think I just want to Storm. Right.
And you look like lunch.
I didn't play a land this turn.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
So I can do it again. Okay, so we do have to worry about Sheoldred soon. So let's add some lands, untap this. Let's add more mana. We're gonna Karn.
The likes of you. I am not frightened by
Yeah. Yeah, so it does kind of seem like the Rakdos matchup, they just lose. Alright. Excellent hand. We've been kind of getting lucky with these openings. With bunch of Blanor Elves and Wolf Willow Haven. Looks like Rakdos mid-range. Love that. Yeah, I don't love that though. I don't love that.
That's maybe you won't be outsmarting me.
I think we can afford to discard a forest. Because we have 5 mana with Willow Haven, right? And then we'll start with Nissa. Okay. That's pretty unlucky. Yeah. This is the power of going first, opponent. We get it.
We all have things we'd rather forget.
Boop, boop, boop. I think opponent is holding on to Fatal Push, right? Okay, Karn was just such a good card to draw there.
until you have lived this estate.
Karn was so good. Oh my god. Karn was actually so perfect. Let's stop the Liliana nonsense. I kid you not, I think there was no other perfect card than what we just got there. And now we get a Sky Sovereign. So good. So good. They can't even do this. No, you can't use the blood token. Yep. Okay, so Sky Sovereign main deck actually really good. I can kind of see myself playing one more Voracious Hydra for, I don't know. But the problem with Voracious Hydra against a mid-range deck, Rakdos mid-range, is that they play Fatal Push, right? It's not the best. It's a bit slow, but I have to keep it. I never want to mulligan against a Rakdos mid-range if you have like a decent hand. Because of their discard spells. Because you mulligan, you go down on card size, hand size. And they Thoughtseize you and it just feels so bad. Alright. Put it on you. And then cast the Kiora. Minus on the forest.
The ocean surges.
Play the old growth troll. What a turn. What a turn. Okay, that's completely fine. They still don't even get to kill Kiora, so...
Smells fishy here.
That's good for me. So let's Storm. Double Cavalier. Okay. Yup. You know, I could minus Kiora here and play Nissa. But I do lose Kiora. Like, do we want that? How many Kioras do we have left? We have 2 more. I think Kiora's done her job, right? I actually made a mistake. I should have tapped this because it's not a forest to cast on Nissa. But it shouldn't matter too much. I'm gonna keep the Boseiju. I might have the Boseiju here at the end of their turn. Also, did I forget to attack? I might have. I should have also played this instead. In case of, like, did I just draw Nissa? Like, what happened? I think we did, right? We had the Kiora, play the Cavalier of Thorns from the Storm of the Festival, and then we drew Nissa. So, I mean, it is a bit hindsighty, but I think it's okay. So we'll grab... Sky Sovereign, right? I mean, this game is just over, right? This game is just entirely over. Attack. And attack. We'll also attack with you. And now because of Karn, they can't even use their treasure. So unless they have a Bone Crusher Giant here, they can't use a treasure. Maybe I shouldn't have attacked with one of my creatures here. I think yeah, that was a mistake. Probably a Bone Crusher Giant. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I shouldn't have attacked with this. That was my bad. But it does put some life pressure on their life total here. So they have to block with Kiki Jiki. Yeah. So I think it was okay.